I make the world graphical.
I add value through my products.
I am an animator.
I am a filmmaker.
I develop trends.
I transform designs to reality.
I create environments.
I translate stories to furniture.
I design experiences.
I'm an immersive media designer.
I design mobility.
This is not only a design institute.
This is a design lab.
Join us in our design movement.
Namaste and virtual high fives to our audience out there watching us live via YouTube and Meta platforms across the globe. In case you're able to hear us, see us, please type in a yes in the chat box. A round of thanks to our technology team and everyone BTS behind the scenes for making this virtual interaction possible. On behalf of the core team, the alumni, the student designers and student innovators of 2021-22, we are grateful to be safe amongst you all hosting this session today. I, Priya Dhawan, Head of Outreach and Collaborations, welcome you all to this thoughtfully curated Design Connect series. For those who are joining us for the first time today, we'd like to share that MIT ID has emerged to be an iconic destination for learning design, innovation and sustainability in India. The 4 M's of learning design begins with MIT ID at Maharashtra, Meghalaya and Madhya Pradesh. We have established a very strong presence in West India, Eastern and Central part of India, that is Pune, Shillong and Ujjain. In a few years from now, MIT Institute of Design will be celebrating 2 decades of being a pioneering player in design education and research. This futurist journey began with that one thought of our founder, which led to educating and impacting thousands in multiple design disciplines and naturally progressing into innovation and sustainability. We recognize the need to reach out to billions of aspiring designers and innovators and help them gain the skills and knowledge required for their dreams to become a reality. MIT ID's growth across the last 1.5 decades would not have been possible without the leadership capabilities of Professor Dr. Anant Chakradev, Pro Vice Chancellor, Art and Design Programs, Dean Faculty of Design, Director International Relations, MIT Art, Design and Technology University, MIT Institute of Design. He's a Fulbright Fellow, he's a member of Academic Council, MIT ADT University, he's a member of the Governing Council of MIT AOE Alandi, he's a member of the Governing Council at Avantika University, as well as a member of the Association of Designers of India, ADI. He's also a member of the CII National Committee of Design. Welcome you all to Design Connect 2021. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And how has this journey, been like since we sort of just walked you through, a simple intro at this point in time?
Oh, it was not very easy task in 2005 when we decided to go ahead and start a design institute in our country.
Right.
At that point of time, there were hardly any design institutes, probably few of them in private sector, and there were of course a good number like NID and IDC and few IITs in public sector.
Right.
But it was really a important decision for MIT Group to do something which is unconventional, which belongs to unconventional education. So we decided to go ahead and start MIT Institute of Design, and we started in 2006. As you rightly said, we'll be celebrating 2 decades after a few years from now. And it was, even though it was not easy task, easy journey, I think we were blessed to have all design gurus of our country like Professor H. Kumar Vyas, Professor Parmar, our own Professor Dhiman Panchal, who were there right from day one with us. And that made our life easy. So, and that gave us that early advantage, because we were blessed to have all these people on board, and that helped us to set all things right from day one. In fact, ours is the only institute, probably I can say, which started 7 undergraduate programs and 7 master's programs on first day of its inception. It is really creditable. And from there we have come a long way. We became university in 2016, because earlier everyone was offering graduate diploma and postgraduate diploma, because it was an understanding between industry and academia.
Right.
Industry was okay with graduate and postgraduate diplomas, so everyone was offering something like that.
Right.
But in 2016 almost every NID started offering Bachelor of Design, and then every design institute started offering Bachelor of Design. So we became university in 2016, and post that also we are growing every day, and this is where we are today.
What would be the number of students, sir, across these years who have actually, let's say, graduated from MIT ID?
Okay, we started with 100 undergraduates and 60 master students in 2006.
Okay.
For almost 3 to 4 years, that was the intake. Then we jumped to 150 undergrads and 100 masters.
Okay.
Again, for next 3 to 4 years, that was the intake.
Okay.
Then we went to 200 undergrads and 150 masters.
Right.
And that intake was there for 7 to 8 years until this year's, that is 21-22, wherein we have increased that intake to around 300 undergraduates and 150 master students. I hope this will remain same for another 5-6 years. So if you take average of around 150 students for 15 years, our first batch graduated in 2008. So from 2008 around 12 years, and every year you can say 200 students. That much, those many number of students are already there in the market. They are MIT Institute of Design product, and I'm sure and I know that they are doing very well in the industry.
True. Wonderful. In fact, we are looking forward to possibly a reunion event of sorts, where when we celebrate the 20 years of MIT ID, I think we'd love to have all the alumni over and celebrate this momentous occasion.
Yes, of course, we would love to do that. In fact, at present, I'm sure there are no MIT alumni present for this, but later when they would see this on YouTube or probably some another channel, it's my appeal to them that please do come back and please give it back to the institute, to your junior designers in whatever way you want.
True.
And you can.
True, absolutely, sir. Totally agree. If I rewind your journey, right, back to your childhood, when did you sort of realize that, design was, let's say, an inherent capability, or where did you possibly figure out your leanings towards design?
I would not say design, but I would say towards creative domain. Yes, certainly yes. Since my childhood, I am today even a creative person. I used to sketch a lot. I used to take parts in illocations. I used to take part in dramatics. So it's there. But even today, I'm not a designer, but I am in this design environment for last so many years. So I would say inclination towards creativity there's right from childhood.
Right from childhood. And for all the young aspirants who are watching us today, according to you, what is that age at which they feel that, they can actually possibly figure out that, yes, there is that creative streak in them, and when is the right time for them to sort of say that, okay, I would like to possibly go in for a short-term, maybe a vacation class of sorts, to sort of build up on those design skills or creative skills?
I think the times have changed. When we were students, probably up till 12th standard, or even after that we were unable to decide whether what area. Like I went for engineering just
Right.
because I got good marks in 12th standard. I had science, so the only option with me was to go to engineering.
Right.
And at that point of time, the popular most branch was mechanical, so the naturally I went to mechanical. But as I said, times have changed. These days, in around 7th, 8th standard, people and parents, start discussing about future of their children. And from that point of view, in around 10th standard or so, I think they should at least, start discussing about science, non-science, engineering, at least major domains, or creative field. When we say creative field, it can be anything. So at 10th standard, generally people discuss that, and if they decide to go for creative field, may it be architecture, may it be design, may it be film, may it be drama, or some other performing arts, I would say, then probably they should start preparing towards that in 11th and 12th. Because so I would say 10th pass, I mean the vacation between 10th and 11th is the right time to talk about it. Because many times what we see that in 12th, at the end of 12th standard, parents start deciding about the future.
Right.
And that's too late, I would say. Because if you decide it well in advance, you get sufficient time to prepare for it. So I think the vacation between 10th and 11th is the most crucial vacation.
Wonderful. And I think maybe we should also have open days for students, maybe around that phase, who could actually come down and have a look at our college as well and our campus.
Yes, of course. That's the best. See, seeing is believing.
Exactly, sir.
So unless people come and interact with, maybe their seniors, their students, the students who are already doing design or any creative program for that matter, or maybe they go and talk to faculty members, they go and see infrastructure, to whatever limited understanding of theirs, they go and see the projects which are done by the students and the faculty member. They will get an idea about whether they really want to get into this, or whatever idea they have about design in their mind is not correct. So they will at least cross check whether whatever they feel about design is right or wrong by interacting with people, seeing the things, going through the work, and then probably they will broadly decide whether they want to get into it or not.
True, true. Like you rightly said, seeing is believing, and it's very important. Wonderful. So in case anybody is out there in the audience who would like to visit MIT ID campus at Pune and who would want to explore, what all we do at our beautiful campus, please go ahead and, type in a yes, and we will have our team look into it. And of course, we will reach back to you regarding the same. How does a student, sir, choose between, so of course, we've covered right now in terms of, what is the right age to explore, the leanings towards the creativity aspect. Then of course, we've also spoken about in terms of that the seeing is believing aspect, going ahead and visiting design labs, design campuses, getting, understanding deeper about what else is possible. Since we are also talking about education in a way out here, recently with NEP coming into the picture, and there's also been a thrust on the design education. Could you also sort of enlighten our aspirants a bit about the same in terms of, the government's motives or the government's thrust or the support in terms of furthering design-enabled industries in India?
See, first of all, NEP is a very bold step which Government of India has taken.
Right.
And I would say it was required long back. So we are late in having NEP and implementing it. But nevertheless, I think government has finally decided to go for such a drastic, change in higher education system.
Right.
What NEP does is NEP gives a student flexibility about selecting programs.
Okay.
Not only programs, NEP gives flexibility about within the program, what should I study, what should I not. So NEP helps students to have more choice, and that is the best thing which will happen when we will start implementing NEP with its true spirit.
Right.
I think NEP is a game changer, certainly a welcome step. And in design, so NEP doesn't promote any particular faculty of higher education, because NEP talks about philosophy.
Okay.
But what has happened in recent past is, I think the popularity of engineering education for some known, some unknown reasons has gone down.
Okay.
Within engineering, there are only few disciplines like computer engineering, maybe artificial intelligence type of disciplines, which are softer disciplines of engineering, are still popular, and they attract good, talented students. But parallelly, those who don't want to join engineering, I mean, there were very few options earlier.
Right.
So design has created that space. Design has created that space for all those students who don't want to get into calculation part of engineering, but still want to do something in let's say products or in interiors or something else, wherein science is also important, but the depth at which science is taught or mathematics is taught in engineering, it's not required. So design in true sense has opened that space for all those students, and that's why design is becoming more and more popular as compared to the other creative programs which were there since since 100 years. Design is becoming very popular these days. That's the reason.
And there's a heightened focus also on design and innovation, even at the industry level.
Yes, of course.
A lot of our our faculty and our industry member interactions that happen, I think that's also another proof in terms of people realizing the need for design thinking in business processes. So have you sort of felt that, last 5 years, there's some sort of an added focus from the industry on having their own employees learning design thinking, and also focusing on maybe having a separate design vertical? Has that sort of...
Yes, not 5 years, I would say. It started happening when the economy was open to rest of the world.
Okay.
So when that happened, the whole monopoly business went off.
Okay.
Like in India, if you remember, there were only 2 car models. One was Ambassador, one was Fiat. Not Fiat, it was Premier Padmini at that time. So the whole, they were selling whatever they were producing.
Right.
So when the economy was opened in 90s, so many private players, so many other players, so many foreign players came, and they started producing, designing and manufacturing the similar products in the market. Because of this, there was a lot of competition. Now, to differentiate your product, to differentiate your service from rest of the people, you need design component.
True.
So since then, the design started, the importance of design, companies started feeling the importance of design as a department.
Correct.
And then they started setting up design studios within the, company, and that is how design started growing.
Right.
As we entered in the 21st century, along with manufacturing, even the service industry started growing. So when the service industry started growing, there was another opening for designers to cater to and provide services to.
Right.
So that is how design started growing as industry started understanding the need to create that differentiator in their product or in their service. There is another reason. In India, when the economy was opened, when the IT revolution came, and even the service industry revolution came, the population which belonged to lower middle class and upper middle class started growing.
Right.
So when middle class and upper middle class population grows, they always look for quality of life.
Right.
And when they look for quality of life, naturally there is a role for designer. Because designer can bring that differentiator which creates that positive thing towards quality of life. Whatever designer does is for improving quality of life. May it be product, may it be service, may it be software, may it be furniture, may it be film, may it be anything. So final aim is to solve the problem and improve the quality of life.
Right.
Now when would that happen? When there is enough of bread and butter in the society, and when they are looking for something else,
True.
then it will happen.
Right.
So that is where in India design started growing, and that's why you can see emergence of so many designers, so many design institutes post 2000, year 2000.
Okay, wonderful. So, you know, this is one of those very rare interactions with Professor Dr. Chakradev. I, you know, appeal to the audience out here. Please feel free to type in your questions, and we are very happy to, in fact, have him address the same.
Yes.
If you could have one such question shared on screen as well, please. Sir, how is the design profession different from other professions?
It's not different in terms of functionality or maybe the way in which people go and work in industry. It's different in terms of attitude. It's different in terms of thought process.
Sure.
So for example, a thumb rule says that for every 10 engineers, maybe one designer is required.
Absolutely.
So designer gives that direction to businesses.
Okay.
Designer can strategize.
Right.
Designer can think differently. Designer can innovate. Designer can create that difference which is expected by an industry. Designer is by definition a problem solver.
Right.
So it can be water problem, or it can be a problem, existing problem with any existing product, or it can be a completely new product or system or a service.
I'd like to add to what you said about what all a designer can do. A designer can disrupt.
Yes, a designer can disrupt. That's,
Yeah.
see, that is how the training in design is done.
Right.
We don't train students to follow certain structured process and A plus B multiplied by C and get some standard solution.
True.
We train them on learning to learn. So if they adapt themselves towards this learning to learn type of quality,
Right.
I think any field they can go and work, because they are supposed to learn and work and solve the problem. So that is how the training, and that is where there is a difference between other professions
Right.
and design profession. Design, I would say, it's as serious profession as any other profession.
Absolutely, sir. Here's another question. What is the status of design education in India today? Of course, you've already covered in terms of, the many institutes that have come up, but maybe talking about, let's say, the top 10.
Okay. As I said, when we started in 2006, there were only one NID,
Right.
Industrial Design Center, IIT Powai, and one or two other IITs were offering programs in design.
Okay.
Then few private players came. Today, I suppose there are 100 plus design institutes in the country. If you decide to add fashion design institutes, it will go to 250 plus,
Right.
because almost every good town has at least one fashion design institute. So if you put fashion design and design as design domain put
Right.
together, around 200 plus design institutes are there.
All right.
Out of that, few IITs, NID, and few private players like MIT are, I would say, I would not say, because there is no official ranking method available. So I would say sought after design institute.
Sought after.
So these are the institutes where students prefer to go and have their design education.
Okay.
And like that, there are hardly 10 of them in our country.
Okay.
But if you compare, if you check the need, and if you use this same thumb rule of 10 engineers and one designer, I think we would need at least 500, and I'm sure in another 2 to 3 years there will be around 500 design institutes
In a country of
in the
1.3
country,
billion.
yeah. If you compare it to China, China has 3,000 plus design institutes in the country. So even if we go by the very moderate approach and scale, it should be close to 500 in another 2 years.
Okay. And we at our campus are also in fact enhancing the infrastructure, right, to have in more students join the design journey.
Yes, we are doing that. As I said, we have started from 100 and we have reached to around 300 intake. But again, increasing intake is not the solution. Because in design, the staff to faculty to student ratio is very critical.
Okay.
So the class size has to be limited.
Right.
So we try to see that the faculty to student ratio is close to 10 to 15.
Okay.
So one faculty around 10 to 15 students. If that is there, then it works.
Sure.
So from that point of view, I think having more and more campuses will be an alternative rather than increasing strength at one campus.
Okay. Okay. Somebody wants to know, how will you differentiate between design, engineering and arts?
Good question. See, art traditionally, I would say, is about self-expression. So an artist will probably sculpt something or paint something, and it will be his own expression about the thought process which is going in his or her mind.
Right.
The outcome might be good. There can be discussions, deliberations, but from that artist point of view, that is the best.
True.
Okay. Whether it will be consumed by general public or not, again it depends on liking of that particular people.
Right.
So whatever artist is producing may be consumed by consumer, may not be consumed by consumer. Again, the cost of it's actually not relevant. Painting done by M.F. Hussain might go in crores. Some other painter can sell his artwork in thousands.
Yeah.
But that is his own expression about what goes in his or her mind. Design is not like that. Design has a clear goal. Design is for user. Design is for solving the problems. Problems of whom? Problems of people, problems of society.
Right.
So designer works with a very focused target. Designer is equally creative. So that creative component has to be there of artist,
Right.
but there has to be a business component. There has to be a component wherein he is working for someone. So that is the basic difference between designer and an artist, and that basic difference even percolates into education also. That's where I said we train students on learning to learn.
True.
Artist, he need not go through that type of pedagogy. Engineering is completely different, not in the sense of the philosophy. In terms of delivery, it is completely different. In terms of thought process, it's completely different.
Right.
Like engineering design starts with specification. I want to design a screw jack, let's say, which will lift a car by 1 feet, 1 foot, and the car weight is, let's say, 1 ton. So the design specifications given to me is the distance to be lifted is 1 foot, the weight to be lifted is, let's say, 1 ton, and I have a product screw jack. With the help of that, I am supposed to do that. So when I talk about screw jack, there is a screw, there is a nut.
Yeah.
So with this only I am supposed to calculate, I am supposed to select right kind of material, right kind of manufacturing process and design. So it is very much constrained activity, it is very much supported by mathematical equations, lot of analysis,
Okay.
and there is only one solution.
Okay.
In design, there is nothing like one solution. There can be multiple alternatives, and all alternatives will be true.
With imagination as the base.
Imagination as the base, and the consumer will be different. Consumer
Correct.
can be different. I always give example. If you go to a local market like Tulsi Bagh in Pune and you purchase a toy, probably you will get it in 15 rupees. If you go to some branded shop and ask for similar toy, that might be 400.
Easily.
The clientele is different.
Correct.
The need is different. So all the solutions in design are equally important. In engineering, it is only one, supported by mathematical formulas, supported by very strong reasoning.
Right.
And that is how engineering education, in engineering education, there is lot of emphasis on sciences and mathematics
Right.
as a base. Whereas if you see the foundation of a design program, there is lot of emphasis on visualization,
Correct.
on thinking process, on thought process. There is lot of importance to the skills, various type of skills.
Right.
So that is how these three categories are, I would say, completely different, but at some point they go and converge.
Converge.
Those days are not far away where we may come across a program in engineering, product design engineering, something
True,
like that.
true.
Because
Similar to sort of what we have,
yes,
let's
it
say
has
maybe
to.
designeering in Ujjain.
Yes, it has to be like that, but it's slowly going toward that. But the basic thought process is different in engineering education, in engineering and in design. It's completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We also have another question on how to select design discipline as per a person's skill sets.
I think don't jump to select design discipline at all. I mean,
Okay.
because it's the decision which is very important at 12th standard or little before that is whether you want to join design or not.
All right.
Because that is very critical and important decision. If you decide on that, I think there is sufficient time within design education system itself to select your discipline.
Okay. Okay.
Because in most of the design schools, the foundation program is common to all the students.
Right.
So every student will undergo through same courses.
Okay.
In most of the design schools, it is 1 year foundation program.
Okay.
So 1 year is a very good time to understand your own skill sets,
True.
understand your own capabilities, understand what that discipline requirement is all about,
True.
understand whether your skill sets match with the requirement of that particular discipline, and then take a call.
Right. And
So-
in the company of fellow designers as well.
Yes,
I
of
think
course.
that makes a lot of
There
difference.
is lot
as
of
well.
hand holding. There is lot of hand holding from peers, lot
Right.
of hand holding from your seniors, from faculty members.
Oh, yes.
So it's a guided decision, I would say, to
True.
select discipline.
True.
So don't worry much about that at this moment, but yes, you'll have to decide whether you want to get into design or not. That's very
Right.
important decision.
Right, sir. Great. Thank you. How can one select a design institute for their education? What would be their maybe top 5 things to look at?
Generally, I mean, it's a clinical process, I would say. It's a mechanical process. So what I would suggest is, you decide on few factors you can take that call. Number one is who is the institute? I mean, who are they?
Who are they?
What is their academic legacy? What is
Right,
their
sir.
education legacy?
Right.
Number two is location. Number three is industry connect
Right.
of that particular institute with industry. Number four, the fees. Most important, who are the people who are faculty members?
Right.
I mean, you can build star best possible infrastructure, but if you don't have best possible faculty, it's not possible to run design program.
It's the people who breathe lives.
So people can what they can do is based on these 6-7 parameters,
Okay.
they can prepare one Excel sheet
Okay.
go on putting the points.
Okay.
So as I said, it's
Right.
purely a mechanical process.
Right, sir.
Select around 5 to 6 institutes depending upon your choice. It can be based on location, it can be based on whether there is hostel inside the campus or not. It can be based on fees, it can be based on the discipline which you finally want to get in. So select 6-7 institutes, put some points for all these criteria. I think you will get first 3 options for your kid. With that, it's as simple as that. But too many choices will create confusion. So 5 to 6 choices is more than enough.
I guess to the audience, it's all about narrowing down the funnel.
Yes, of course.
Sir, we also spoke about legacy right now. I'd like you to sort of throw some light that, beyond the 15 years of MIT ID, if you could share a bit on the MIT legacy of now almost close to, 70 institutions, and we've been around for 40 years. So if you could please.
Okay, so we started in 1983 as Maharashtra Institute of Technology.
Okay.
So for first 10 years we were having only one engineering college and one medical college
Right.
at Latur. Then we started growing as a group. Now it's a group known for all disciplines of higher education, I would say. So whatever we started in 1983 with 180 students of engineering in a rented premises, today we are 4 universities, 2 medical colleges, many schools, around 10 campuses. Now we have opened campus in Ujjain, we have opened campus in Shillong, so we are growing. We may come up with few more campuses in future. So it's a group started by visionary Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad, who himself was a faculty member in Government College of Engineering. He served there for 20 long years, and then he came out and started MIT. So the speciality of this group is this is started and run by all educationists. All faculty members from various walks of life, they came together and started MIT, and that's why there is a good, nice value system associated, academic value system associated to MIT group.
Great. Thank you, sir. We'd like to understand what is the size and nature of the design industry.
Okay, in terms of probably funds, I may not be able to, but there are enough reports from NASSCOM and CII which talk about the size of the industry in terms of funds. But what I can guarantee is you name the industry and there is design requirement. As mechanical as I would say Thermax, or as mechanical as someone who is producing boilers probably, they also require designers.
Right.
So that is the difference again between the opportunities for engineers and opportunities for designers. Engineers can go into industry.
Right.
So it can be depending upon their probably specialization. Someone can go to software industry, someone can go to manufacturing industry.
Right.
It's not like that in design. A designer, as per his skills, can start a photography studio of his own, or can serve a multinational like IKEA or Honda R&D, or can go and work on his own on some or can create his own startup.
True.
Depending on the skills, the designer can go to advertising area, can go to film, can go to animation, can go to furnitures, can go to normal manufacturing, MNCs, small studios. I mean, that's the vast scene for a designer as compared to engineer. So that is the size of the design industry in a way. All multinationals have their design departments, their own design departments. So that is one level of design intervention. Second level is there are design studios. They are service providers. Third level is there are like standalone, you can say small setups, maybe 2 people, 3 people working together, something like that. Then there are startups, and they all work in design domain also. So there is, I mean, those who are very good there are multiple opportunities
Multiple
available.
opportunities in
Yes,
different
of course.
phases accordingly.
Of course, yes.
Based on the size of the businesses.
Size of the business and your own capability.
Right.
See,
right,
design is profession of practice.
right.
So you cannot be, for example, you cannot be ordinary lawyer.
Hmm.
There is no concept of mediocre lawyer. There is
Right.
no concept of mediocre doctor.
Right.
So if you are a doctor, you should be good. Then only people will come to you.
Right.
Same is the case with design. There is no concept of mediocre design.
Correct. Correct.
So if you that is where the decision of joining design is very important. You don't join design just for the sake of it. It is very serious profession,
You have
and
to
you'll
live it.
have to be good. You'll have to perform every day, and if you have that capability, there are many opportunities.
There needs to be a passion for design, for creativity.
Yes, and that passion should continue throughout your life.
Right.
It's
Throughout
like
your
passion.
expression as well.
Yes, you cannot just say that I want to join design because, theek hai, I mean,
Right.
let's do something type of approach. That
Right.
won't work.
Right. So you just mentioned right now, sir, about the different levels of businesses, and I would call it, let's say, design for profits in a way.
Okay.
Now, at an India level, do we have a policy, which is active, focusing on design?
It's not clearly visible
Right.
for two reasons. We still don't have very active India Design Council,
Right. Right.
because I think if India Design Council type of body comes into place, and if they are very active,
Right.
then they probably will come forward and create a policy like chartered designer or something like that,
Sure.
or they can create guidelines for practicing designers.
Okay.
But at present that framework is absent. I think the way in which we are growing as a community, as an industry, as organizations or education institutes, in another 5 years time we need to have very strong policy document for design as a business.
True.
And I'm sure that there are people who are continuously on it, and they are taking their own efforts, but it's
Right.
taking little time at present.
Like you rightly said, I think they need to be more visible,
Yes.
because I believe there is a national design policy, but at the same time, or even for that matter, there was recently the India Design Report which was launched. But like you rightly said, they need to be more active, more visible for actual action to happen on the ground.
Yes, India Design Report basically talked about need of design interventions in our
Right.
country, and it was long back in 1960s, and then
Okay.
rewriting of that happened recently. But like for an architect, there is a policy, there is a code of conduct, there is some exam to be for you being recognized as architect by Architecture
Right.
Council. That type of
A more formal-
is not present at right now.
All right. Thank you, sir. There's a question which has come in terms of what type of jobs and roles are available in the design domain right now, and what type of roles will be expected in the future.
Okay. Presently, as I said, there are 3 layers of opportunities available. One is, of course, with all multinationals, they have
Right,
their
sir.
design domain
Right, sir.
departments. Second, with medium scale organizations, they
Right.
rely on either their own designer, or they rely on some service
Maybe
provider.
designations is something they
Yeah,
are
I'll come to it.
seeking.
And third level is small studios, or so there is 3 level of I would say opportunities available.
Right. Sir.
From discipline to discipline, the opportunity is different.
Okay.
Like at present, if you go and check in any design institute, the best packages are, obtained by user experience design,
Okay.
because software industries come and recruit them.
Right.
Software industries can pay them good packages. So naturally, at present, they say that UX UI is the best, I would say.
The best.
But
crowd puller.
but it's not like that. I mean, every designer has an opportunity.
Okay.
But depending upon the type of skills which he or she has, the opportunity will be different. Like for example, an interior designer can go and work in some architectural firm.
Sure.
It's a small firm. He might get some 30,000, 40,000 rupees as a salary. Same interior designer goes and works with IKEA or Godrej Interior, the salary structure is different.
True.
Animation designer, for example, if he or she is working in a small studio, the scale will be different. If that person is going and working in some multinational or some company where they get work from outside, and then they process those films and send it back, I mean the salary structure will be different. So within discipline also there is tremendous variation in salary structure.
True.
But if you really want to talk in terms of numbers, I would say monthly from 30,000, 35,000, from 35,000 to approximately
I think the
2
sky is the
lakhs,
limit.
3 lakhs. Yeah. I mean this year's packages, if we check, the average package is 6 lakh. The highest package is 22 lakhs.
Yeah.
So there is tremendous variation, but discipline to discipline, it varies. As I said, for all good designers, there are multiple opportunities available. There is no concept of mediocre designer. For them, no opportunity is available.
Right.
So you'll have to be good. That's the bottom line. That's the baseline. About the other part of the question, I mean, there is a change of role for designer also. Like designer used to design. Even today designer designs. But the role is changing very fast.
Right.
I'll not be surprised if you, even today designers are working like that. So designer can be a strategist.
Right.
Designer can be a forecaster. Designer can be in government system.
True.
Who will take policy decision. Designer can be a planner. So the role of a designer is changing. That is the current situation.
Okay.
Same as other professions, even in design we are unaware of the future jobs.
Okay.
What type of jobs will come? Because there is lot of infusion of technology in design domain also. In design also people are talking about coding, people are talking about AI, people are talking about IoT, people are talking about virtual reality, augmented reality. So designers are slowly getting into those roles also. So we really don't know the jobs of future. The jobs of today will certainly remain as it is, but there will be multiple roles which are going to come up for a designer. And that is where designer as a problem solver comes into picture.
Right, sir.
So if you train your student as problem solver, I think he will have those capabilities to take up any challenges, go and work in any field, solve any type of problem. So today's scenario is what I talked about, but it is continuously changing and designers should be ready for this change. Another important thing which designers should possess is he or she should be multitasker.
All right.
You cannot say that I can only do this thing. No, that those days have gone. You'll have to say that I can do 4 or 5 things. Out of that, I am mastering these 2 things. So when you your approach towards learning should be such that you are aware of so many things, but you are master in 2 to 3 out of those.
Right.
That will help a student to get very good opportunity. And believe me, there are good opportunities in the market.
Right. And the salary pay package which you were mentioning, it is more at an entry level.
Yes.
And which is when I said that the sky is the limit, because again only the best of the best will be able to.
Again, there is a difference in engineering and design. In engineering, it's a steady growth.
Right.
In design, initial packages can be little lower.
Okay.
But there is a steep rise if you perform.
Right, sir.
If you prove that you are needed, you are creating that difference, you are adding value to the business, you can demand and companies are willing to pay.
Right, sir.
Because finally when you are adding value to the business, they are getting good results in terms of revenue.
True, sir. True.
So in design, the further I would say rise is very fast. I mean, if seniority wise in engineering maybe probably or in some other field, unless you are there in that field for 10-15 years, people don't call you as senior.
True.
But in design, after 5 years, people start calling you as senior designer.
Senior designer.
That's the difference.
All right. Thank you, sir. We have a question where they would like to know more about other uncommon upcoming streams in design.
Okay. When we started design, there were, traditional disciplines like product design is
Right,
there,
sir.
was there, interior design.
Right.
But these days, I think, as I said, user experience design. User experience design was not there 5 years back.
True, sir.
User interface was there. Now they call it as user experience design.
User experience.
Again, at present, they are talking about user experience towards software industry.
Okay.
But they have not touched yet the other experiences.
Okay.
So, for example, ticketing experience. If I want to buy airline ticket, that is an
Right.
experience. If I want to buy policy, life insurance policy, that is an
User
experience. So slowly it will start covering even all those experiences.
Okay.
So I would say instead of user experience design, I would say experience design is new field.
Or business experience design in a way?
You may call it business experience design also, but finally it is a larger umbrella which is getting created, which will encompass all other experiences, and then it will cover even the UI or the small little things which are happening right now.
Right.
Service design is another area which is upcoming. Then immersion, the whole explosion of media as a business. So immersive media is coming up. We watch web series, we watch all those small movies on all these Netflixes and Amazon Primes and all those OTT, which are available. So who will design for that?
Correct.
Whatever you can see on a 30 screen in theater, if you want to see same thing on a mobile screen, there has to be some change.
Correct.
It has to be designed for that screen.
Correct.
So there are huge opportunities in immersive media as a field. So again, there are many overlaps between animation, film, immersive media, user experience, graphic design. So there are many overlaps. But immersive media as a field, like there are many opportunities opening up in augmented reality, in virtual reality type of platform.
Right.
So who will design? A designer will design.
Correct.
So these new avenues are opening up for a designer. Of course, I'll not say that traditional design disciplines will disappear. They will still remain. Even today in MIT Institute of Design, the most popular discipline is product design.
Product design. True.
So maximum students opt for product design even today. So those disciplines will remain, but all these new emerging technologies of future are helping designers to get into newer and newer ventures. So I think they should look towards that. They should be ready for those changes. They should be, embracing. They should be, I would say, welcome those changes. Then only they can survive.
Okay. Okay. So it's a very highly dynamic field,
Yes.
so to say. Also, while we were talking about how it needs to be designed differently for different kind of screens, the amount of time that is spent in ideating, in trying to solve a problem, and then to see that the user has barely taken a second span to, let's say, see a creative, or let's say see a particular scene, and it's already like moving on to the next one. So what is your advice to those who are actually laboring so hard to get the the user's attention, and also working so hard behind the scenes to sort of make an impact? So some sort of a hope statement for them that
it's like see, it's very important because it's about attention span.
Right, sir.
See, attention span of any common man is not beyond, I would say, 1 minute. 1 minute is also
scrolling, right? Just like
this is
scrolling
30
down the-
seconds, 15 seconds is the attention span.
Right.
So whatever, see, this is a skill.
Right.
Whatever you want to deliver, whatever you want to communicate,
Right.
if you are unable to communicate within that span of 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, I think the communication will not happen.
True.
So these are the new skills which designer must acquire.
Right. So,
These are the new, this is a thought process by itself. So designers must understand, and that is where designers quality as, understanding user comes into picture.
right. Right.
Whenever we design anything, we design it for user. So we must understand user first.
Right.
And all these exponential technologies which are helping the user to scroll fast through, rapid forward type of
Correct.
thing, there are more and more challenges posed to designer.
True, sir.
And designers must be ready to accept those challenges.
Okay. Great. Thank you. We have a question where they would like to know the scope in game designing specifically, and whether game design will help in game development.
Game design, again, there are two aspects of game design.
Okay.
One is creative part of game design, and another is technical part of game design.
Right, sir.
So designers are generally trained for creative part of game design.
Okay.
So they think about game, they create those characters, they create those sequences,
Right,
they
sir.
storyboard, they design and create that game. May it be a game on digital platform, may it be a physical game, may it be
Right.
something else, may it be a toy. I broadly cover it as from toy to a digital game.
Right.
But as a discipline, it is gaining more important.
Okay.
So animation industry has its own place. Animation industry is growing with its own, volume and capacity.
Right.
But offshoot of that is gaming industry,
Okay.
and there is huge potential
Mm-hmm.
for game design activity and gaming industry.
Okay.
In our program, we try to cover both the technical side of it to certain extent and actual game design part of it. But that's the future, I would say.
All right.
The way in which small screen activity is growing,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of game is also growing. That is
Right.
another way in which people entertain themselves.
Right.
And it's not only about kids.
No.
It's
My
about,
next question was,
it's
do you
about
play games?
anyone. Yes, I also play games.
All
So
right.
it's about everyone.
Okay.
So that is the scope of this industry, and I would say that's the future. In fact,
Okay.
at present we work in India, very few games of our own are being developed. We
Okay.
mostly work on whatever comes from outside.
True.
But I think we are slowly moving into it. Same is the case for animation. So it's a huge industry which is coming up. So
Okay.
there is a good scope. In fact, I come across students who initially come and say that we want to join animation, and after 6 months they decide to switch over to game design.
Games.
So that is how.
Because
it's
they're
happening.
spending a lot of time
Yes.
on it as well.
Yes.
And which is your favorite game, sir?
No, I don't play much games because I don't get that much time. But whatever comes, across, I try. But I think it's not about me because my, I would say value system might be different. But when I see around, almost everyone is involved in that.
True.
Almost everyone. In fact, I would say people go. Don't go out and play games on ground, but they are very
Grounds.
happy. But that's how it is, and for us that's a good thing because it might give good opportunities to our students as game
Right.
design.
Right. Wonderful. Our next question is that what is the difference between visual communication and animation and motion graphics?
Visual see, overall it's about communication. It's communication design.
Correct, sir.
So motion graphics is one of the aspect of it. Animation is one complete area about communication. When we say visual communication, in broader terms, I would say whenever you want to communicate anything visually, it can be covered under visual communication.
Okay.
It can be film, it can be animation, it can be game, it can be even other graphic design related activities, it
Right,
can be
sir.
novel, it can be anything else. So visual communication is the larger umbrella, and all these are the verticals within
Verticals
that
under it.
larger umbrella.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question is that can a designer open his own company or a startup, and how many chances are there of the success of the company? Have we had students who have, possibly passed out and immediately, gone ahead with having their own startups?
Yes, of course.
All right.
There are one or two students, I would say. I can quote also examples, but there are one or two students who did some project in their technically complex project as a course, or
Okay.
design for social needs, design
Right,
for
sir.
special needs type of course, and then they got those projects productized. They converted those projects into products. They have their own companies today.
Okay.
They got good funding from various venture operators. They are doing very well. So to answer first part of the question, in fact, I would say that any new venture, any new startup, if they want to succeed, they must have one design director.
Okay.
If they have one design director right since inception, right from scratch, their chances of success are
Okay.
far better. You take any startup which got converted right from Byju's to you name any, and just check the founders.
Right.
Either one of the founder is designer, or they had very strong support of design right from day one.
Okay.
So I would say if you want to succeed, you must have designer on board,
Okay.
and then you can certainly succeed. And there are enough examples who have started their own companies and they are really doing well.
Okay. And a couple of them have also been awarded recently, from what I remember.
I remember one case, Satyajit Mittal, who was our student and who is our alumni. He's again design for social needs. He
Right,
did
sir.
one project, and that project got converted into product, and then that product was finally mass produced, and he formed a company, and he got President's Award for the work which he had done. So there are many success stories like that, not only in MIT Institute of Design, but I'm sure in other design institutes also, in general within designers,
Right.
I would say.
Thank you for sharing this. And yes, in case, as and when Satyajit is, watching us at some point in time, heartiest congratulations to you. And yes, we are absolutely proud of you. So we have another question which says, what is the scope of automobile designing in India and abroad, and how can one enter this industry?
Automotive design, we call it as transportation design, because again, when we say transportation design, we are talking about larger umbrella.
Larger.
Within transportation design, it can be design for ships, it can be designed for yachts, it can be designed for speedboats, it can be railway, it can be car, it can be bicycle. So when we say transportation design, we are talking about larger umbrella.
Right.
So when we say transportation design, I would say there is huge scope.
Okay.
Even for automotive design or automobile design, again, when we say automobile design, mostly it is towards engineering part of it. When we say automotive design or transportation design, it is more towards the softer aspects of it. Within that also, if you see the chain, or if you see the product development cycle, so it starts from user study, it starts from styling, then there is concept creation, then then they try and test out few things, then there is digital modeling, there is physical modeling, then there is prototyping, then there is again prototyping testing, then it goes to soft tooling, then it goes to the batch production, and then mass production.
Right.
So till batch production, I would say.
Okay.
My opinion is till batch production, designers have scope to work.
Okay.
So they can work as designers in styling studio.
Okay.
They can work as sculptors in clay studio. They can work as visualizers and CAS modelers in CAD/CAM studio.
Okay.
They can work in prototyping. They can work in testing. So all these roles can be taken up by designers. The problem is when some student joins transportation design, he or she wants to go only in styling section. Styling is not the only section where the automotive industry works. There are multiple sections as starting from user study to final prototype testing, and everywhere designer has a role to play.
Okay.
So if you consider that as a spectrum, there are enough designers required. If you consider only styling studio as a sector, then I'm afraid there are very few designers required per year,
Okay.
and only those who have amazing skills will get absorbed.
Right. Right. While we are at this, sir, I'd like to also, have you share a bit about the Shelby Cobra project,
Yes.
and also about our, the automotive clay sculpting course.
Yes, of course. We run transportation design bachelor's program and master's program,
Right, sir.
and in that process we started interacting with SIAM, which is Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers.
Okay.
So then SIAM came forward and said, why can't we start a automotive clay lab?
Okay.
Now, for those who don't know about what is automotive clay and how the modeling is done, so for every vehicle, where before it is approved, before all the surfaces are approved, before the entire form is approved, a full scaled automotive model out of automotive clay is prepared.
Okay.
There can be digital modeling, there can be physical modeling also. So then CM came forward, and then we decided to start a program for automotive clay sculpting.
Okay.
So then we said it will be automotive sculpting. So we cover digital sculpting, we cover physical sculpting, and that is how we create manpower for automotive industry.
Okay.
We have done similar projects. We have created working models of automotive, and Shelby Cobra project was one of them. Shelby Cobra project was done to give that exposure to our students about how one as one working model or prototype can be done. So I think it was fantastic experience. Those who have not seen, you can go to our website, our YouTube channel, and all those films are available. You can see those projects.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe, if possible, we will definitely share a link to the same later as well.
Yes.
We'll possibly take just few more questions.
Okay.
There is a question on what is the importance of sketching in designing?
I would say a lot of importance.
Right, sir.
Because it's not sketching as a skill, it's sketching for visualization. When you sketch, what you do is you develop your ability to visualize.
Okay.
And it can be 2D visualization, it can be 3D visualization.
Okay.
For a designer, 3D visualization is very important.
Okay.
So don't look at sketching as a skill.
Okay.
Look at it as something which is beyond physical or motor skill.
All right.
So from that point of view, every designer must have very good sketching ability, because that is your language. That is designer's language.
Right, sir.
Whatever I can write in paragraphs and explain, designer can sketch. He can create few sketches and explain the same thing, same concept to the client, to rest of the world through sketching. So sketching is very important tool. Whether to do it with pencil and pen and paper or do it digitally, that's your choice.
Sure.
But skills, either physical sketching or digital sketching, are very important, very crucial for any design.
Okay. Okay. Recently, you spoke about how important it is for businesses to have a design director, and if they start out with a design director on board, success is like for sure. Do you think that India needs a design head?
In fact, I would say we need design ministry.
Oh, okay.
Why design
great.
head? Every corporation, every state, every corporation must have, like senior architect, every corporation has a senior architect. You are supposed to go to him and get things approved from him.
Right, sir.
You must have designer in every corporation.
Okay.
You must have design ministry at state level and at national level. Countries like Finland have those ministries.
True.
And they have seen the difference. So we need to propagate, we need to, penetrate design interventions to those levels where, I mean, policy designers should ideally go and sit in boardrooms.
Absolutely.
On similar lines, I am saying designers should go and ideally sit in the rooms where policies are
being made.
designed and then further implemented. So we must have design ministry. Why design director?
So in case there's anybody from PMO or PMC tuning in, you know what to do next.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great. Do we have any more live questions? We've already covered in terms of, wanting to know how can we prepare for entering a design institute. Sir has already covered the same. There's another question which says, is it advisable to study design at an undergrad level or a PG level?
Okay, that is also a good question because there is a lot of confusion among students and parents about this. My advice will be very simple. If you want to get into design, if that is what you want to do, that is what your passion says, join it at undergraduate level.
Okay.
If you have doubt or if you feel that you're not sure about your skills, about the ecosystem, about your parents, about other, because in India, unfortunately, the everybody feels that he or she understands everything in education.
Okay.
That is the problem with our society.
Okay.
So the kid who is in 12th, whether he should go for science or medicine or design, I mean, almost all relatives are there in that decision making.
True, sir.
And then the poor chap gets confused.
Okay.
So if there is confusion from any angle, then you can take your own time. You can join some program at undergraduate level, take your time, understand design, check at the end of that undergrad program whether you are still interested in design, and then go for masters. But if you really feel, if you have understood, if you want to do this only, then it is always better to join design at undergrad level. Because those results are far better than the other results. I can guarantee you that.
So the earlier you start, the better
Yes,
it is.
of course. Because as you grow further, you start carrying baggages.
Okay.
If you decide to do engineering or architecture or say BA, BCom, then you start collecting those baggages.
Right, sir.
And then unload those baggages and unlearn and then relearn design becomes little difficult.
Okay. Okay.
So when you are fresh, you should join design. That's at undergrad level.
Okay. We'll take this last question about patents.
Okay.
So how important is having patents in a design industry?
It is always important. I would say not only patents, it can be any intellectual property which you want to create and maintain and preserve. It can be patent, it can be design registration, it can be design rights, it can be something else, it can be copyrights. So from area to area, it will vary. For films and animations and few other things, it can be copyrights. For designs like chairs and it can be design registrations. For completely innovative thing, it can be patents. But I would say intellectual property and design are inseparable parts.
Okay.
Whenever you are doing something, I always encourage our students, even if it is the smallest thing which you have designed, if you feel it's different, immediately go for registration.
Okay. Okay.
It has huge importance. And the importance, you'll realize the importance when it will be that intellectual property will be converted into wealth.
Okay.
When someone comes and buys that,
Right.
you'll realize the importance of that activity.
Okay.
So it's very important.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So for those interested in becoming top-notch designers and innovators, we invite you to explore our courses that will fast-track your career path. So log on to dat.net.in to kickstart your design and innovation journey with MIT ID. I hope that through this 1 hour interaction, we've been able to sort of, take care of some of the myths surrounding the design industry. Sir has in fact addressed a lot of, queries around maybe at a national level, at a business level, even at a student entry level. So we've tried to sort of cover up queries around design across all aspects, and do tune in to mitid.edu.in to know more. Let's aspire, learn, evolve. And yes, stay tuned. We have more such interactions coming in. So thank you so much for your time, and I think it's a privilege for me as well. I've been able to spend about an hour or so with you. And thank you so much for also, sharing your experience, sharing your learnings with our live audience.
Yeah, and to all the students, I can say that you can visit our YouTube channel. There are so many films about design, about MIT Institute of Design,
Right.
about design in general.
Right.
You will be enlightened, and then probably with open eyes, you'll be able to take that decision.
Right, sir. Thank you. And those who wish to visit our campus, feel free to write into my ID, Priya Dhawan @mitid.edu.in, and yes, we'll get things going for you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.
I make the world graphical.
I add value through my products.
I am an animator.
I am a filmmaker.
I develop trends.
I transform designs to reality.
I create environments.
I translate stories to furniture.
I design experiences.
I'm an immersive media designer.
I design mobility.
This is not only a design institute.
This is a design lab.